Hey, it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio. We're in Lower Manhattan today for the start of New York City Fleet Week and the parade of ships. And just out in Bay, passing the Statue of Liberty, are a couple of the lead ships. I think most of the key ships from New York City Fleet Week are approaching Lower Manhattan. And I see one of the Ticonderoga class ships. There's two Ticonderogas in the parade this year, the San Jacinto and the Monterey. Monterey was famous for a lot of its work fighting pirates in the Indian Ocean off Somalia a few years ago. And I believe we even did a radio interview from that ship with an admiral on our WVOX show. So it should be kind of neat. You can see it's, if you can see just in the distance, the large American flag flying from the ship. And it's a real test of my eyesight if I can get the hull number on that, because we have two in the procession so far. But it's turned out to be a very nice day. We've got a fireboat leading with a nice welcome, a traditional welcome by the fire department boats of the water salute. And got one fireboat, maybe I don't know if that's a fireboat or a tugboat. But lots of ships coming up. We got four of them I can see, and of course we got the Statue of Liberty right in the distance, and Ellis Island very close. And there, of course, is the Statue of Liberty. And we're just here in Lower Manhattan, right in the shadow. Well, that's a beautiful, yeah, you can't miss that one. But we're just in the shadow of the World Financial Center, and it's amazing. And the Freedom Tower, I hadn't even seen it yet today, but there it is right above us. And the ships, when it will stop and offer a salute when they reach this spot. So we should have a good view of that today. Unfortunately, Facebook Live wasn't cooperating. You need a lot of bandwidth, but we're going to get a nice video out of this. And welcome the sailors to New York. See the New York Waterway Taxi heading out. A lot of little ferries out this morning. Turned nice. I mean, relatively nice. I mean, it was raining when I drove down here this morning and a couple hours ago, but now it's cleared up and it's very nice out. I mean, it's cool. You know, it feels like April more than May, but it's dry, and so it's a nice day to be out here watching the ships come into New York Harbor. So they're approaching, getting a little bit bigger, and so we've got a escort of some commercial ships and another New York Waterway Taxi going out. But we're going to see the Kearsarge LHD-3, a Wasp class amphibious assault ship, coming in, and it is about 35,000 tons, about 850 feet long, and his mission is to take about 1,500 Marines wherever in the world they need to go and take all the supplies. They've got helicopters, they've got vertical takeoff planes, they've got the Ospreys. They're being refitted now to fly the F-35 Marine Corps version, and so you'll hear more about that, as it's a real hot topic in the Navy, getting the Navy ready to handle the high-performance F-35s, which we've talked a lot about on our WVOX show. So there's the first ship, and let's see if we can see the hull number on that one. But it's beautiful to see the American flag out, and this is really a neat spot because we'll be right by the Statue of Liberty when it goes by in a moment. And And I'm going to take a guess. That looks like it is 56. That is the San Jacinto, the Ticonderoga class cruiser. A little bit bigger than an Arleigh Burke's, probably about 100 feet bigger. Not a lot bigger, but it has more capacity to take missiles out, take more weapon systems, more radar. They are aging, and the Navy is trying to work on replacing them, but they have been a workhorse for the U.S. Navy. Getting a picture as the San Jacinto heads past the Statue of Liberty, coming right by us. And we see that beautiful American flag billowing from its forward mast. And this is probably a 20-year-old ship. This is, we're talking a little bit this morning about all the ships that were built for the Navy in the 1980s, early 90s, and the Reagan buildup. They're starting to all be 20, 25 years old, and this class are actually putting a couple in reserve so they can, they're going to basically give the ship a couple of years off so that they can bring it back fresh and get and extend the life, useful life of the class. So there it is, passing Ellis Island now. USS San Jacinto. It's about 600, a little less than 600 feet long. It's got a 5-inch gun in the front and a big stack of missiles just below it, and really a workhorse of the U.S. Navy for the last 20 years. So we see it going past some of the big buildings in Newark, and actually I'm correct, it's Jersey City there. Newark's a little bit further away, but you see the sailors manning the rails on the front, on the bow section, and displaying their colors proudly. Coming into New York Harbor, you see a NYPD boat right in front. And see if they stop. Most of the ships will stop at this point right in front of us, as we are right in the shadows of Ground Zero. And to the military, this is a very sacred place to visit. So another, keep moving along. It's the first ship in line. And we're going to have a Coast Guard cutter coming in next. And turn our sights on the Coast Guard cutter. And that is the Legend class cutter Hamilton, number 753, based in Charleston, South Carolina. Very neat looking ship. Heard a presentation from a Coast Guard officer about the need of the Coast Guard to replace its smaller cutters, many of which are vintage 1960s. And they said they break down a lot. And so they're hoping that they can get an increase in their budget to replace a lot of their 1960 200-foot. Actually, they said they're 400 feet or less cutters are all older. They've gotten some newer, the major, call them national cutters, in that are 400 feet or bigger. But Coast Guard wants to replace as many of their older smaller ships. But then again, this is the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Hamilton WMSL 753 from Charleston, South Carolina, a Legend class cutter, and very smart looking ship. See its colors from its front mast. And going past Jersey City, as I now correctly describe it. So we've got another, and the Kearsarge is coming up too soon. I got to make sure we get our pictures of that. But we've got another. There's a Canadian ship. In the parade this year, and I'm wondering if this is it because it's blue. I don't think you ever get a U.S. ship that looks like this one. So this could very well be the Kingston class coastal defense vessel HMCS Glace Bay. And let me see if I can see a hull number on that, but it's boy, it's awful small. It's got a helicopter buzz, and I'm gonna see if they have a Canadian flag out. Lots of traffic in the harbor. Of course, USS Kearsarge sailed on that ship a couple of times. Big amphibious assault ship based in Norfolk. Let's take another look at this ship. And I may have to really stretch, see if we can get a hull number on this. I'll have to look at this later. But let's move on to the flagship for Fleet Week. And that is the USS Kearsarge. Kearsarge is an amphibious assault ship and designed to take as many as 1,800 Marines anywhere they need to go in the world and take all the supplies they need. Kearsarge has a well deck so they can land supplies to the size of tanks on hovercraft and take them right to the beachfront where they're needed. Also a great way to bring supplies in and also bring them to the ship, move personnel off and on the ship. And they've got some Ospreys, the vertical takeoff planes that the soldiers say, the Marines say they like them because they fly higher and faster than helicopters. So they feel like they're safer in places like Iraq and Afghanistan because they can they're flying faster than some of the defenses can target them. Lots of helicopters. I said they're being refitting this class of ships so that it can take on the F-35 airplane. And we got a waterways tour out with us, and so Kearsarge is about 25 years old. It was launched 1999. Our friend is now a Fleet Master Chief, Ray Kemp, we met when he was a petty officer on the Kearsarge about 10 years ago at New York City Fleet Week. A beautiful ship. And it has sailors and Marines the length of the flight deck. And they are ready. They are rendering a salute. I can see them at you can see them offering a salute as they go by Ground Zero, a sacred place to everyone in the U.S. military, everyone in our country. And one of the traditions of New York City Fleet Week. We'll see if they stop. Doesn't look like they're stopping today. I know they're a little anxious to get into port, but it's got a well deck. We'll see a little bit of that when the ship passes by. Getting a few photos. A very versatile workhorse ship for the U.S. Navy. They've got 6 of them. A new one called the America, which is just commissioned. And they just completed their salute. The America does not have a well deck. We'll see, if you look right here in the back, you can see a little bit of the well deck of the Kearsarge, where they can offload hovercraft. And some other boats, I guess, too, rafts, power rafts, small raft boats. and very versatile. But the America class ships, it's America and the Tripoli right now, 2 of them, and they are going to design to take as many F-35s out as they can. I think they can fit about 30 on one of these ships. So that's going to be one of the things the Navy's been really working on. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back at New York City Fleet Week. It's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio.